So now this drop down is fully functional. You can select, you can deselect, you can search the cities here. Hey, hello and what's up everyone? I hope you all are doing well. So in this today's video, we are going to create a drop-down component in React.js. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So here now in Visual Studio Code, I have created a new folder named Dropdown in React. Let's get started. First, we need to create a new React project. So first, let me open my terminal, and now let's create a new React project. So here I'm gonna use build. So in the terminal, we need to type npm create build, and then let us press Y. Okay. Now it's asking me for a project name. So let's give it a name. Drop down component. Yeah. Now let's select the framework. So we are gonna use React, and then I'll go with JavaScript. So you can see a project has been successfully created. Now let's run first cd, then drop down to get inside it. Let me clear the terminal, and then let's run npm install. So it will install all of the required packages. Good for some time. Yeah, node modules folder created. Okay. Now all of the packages are successfully installed. Now for this project, I'm going to use Tailwind CSS for styling. So let's set up Tailwind CSS. Let me go to Tailwind CSS website. So Tailwind CSS with width. Now here, just open the second link and let's do it. So we have already created the project. Then we need to run these commands. I'm just copying it and going back here. Let's paste all this here. Now it will install all these packages. Let's go back and copy this content array. Going back, and then what we need to do is paste it inside tailwind.config.js. So here is tailwind.config.js and replace this array to this one. Then the last thing we need to do is copy this and paste it inside our index.css file. So I'm pasting right here. Okay. Now I think we are done with the integration of Tailwind CSS. Now let's run the server. So npm run dev, and let's open it. Yeah. So you can see we have successfully created the project. Now let's close all of these and let's open app.jsx file, not this one. I want app.jsx. Yeah. So here we are going to create the component. So let me just clear all this stuff. Also go to index.css, and we don't need this CSS. So let me just clean it. So I've removed the CSS. Now let's create a new component here. So inside this source, I'm going to create a components folder, components, and inside it, let's create a new component called dropdown.jsx. Okay, let's create this component. So before that, I want to install the React code snippet extension. Let's install this. It was the publisher. Okay, bring back here, and now we just need to type RAFC. It will give us a starter template. Now inside this, let's add a heading for now. Drop down. Okay, and I'm gonna use it here. So let's make it a div. Now let's import that component here. So drop down and closing it like this. Now let's go back to the browser, and here you can see we got the component here. Now let's start building it. So first I want to style the parent component. So class name, let's set the width to screen and height screen. Let's add a background color here. So BG blue 300. Let's go back. So you can see here there is a lot of space here. So first let's remove it. So this space is coming from this app.css file. So we don't need this file. I'm just deleting this file. So delete it. And now let's go back. Yeah. Now this looks good. Uh, Go to extension tab and install one more extension called Tailwind CSS. So it will help us write Tailwind CSS. So this extension has been installed. Now let's go back to our app.jsx, and now I want to center this drop down. I'm making it flex and then justify content center, item center. Now let's make this side by side so we can see the changes. Perfect. Now I'm going back to the drop down component, and first add a class name here and adding a width of around this much. Then adding a background color, so BG white. Let's add some padding of 4. Yeah. Now let's create a header here. So first I want to create a header. For that I'm creating a new div, adding a class header, and let's add a h1 tag here. So h1 drop down. Okay, you can see. Let's make it bold. So text, uh, font, and set it to semi bold. Now after this header, let's create the body. Okay, and inside it, first let's add an input element. So I'm adding an input element. Okay, we got the text box here. Now let's style it. So adding a class name. First, let's change the background color. So BG blue 200 to make it visible. Now let's add a border of around 2 pixel, rounded LG. I think it should be MD, rounded MD, and setting the width to full. Okay, let's add some padding here. Set the padding to 2. Let's add some space here. So adding margin here. Let's increase it a bit more. Yeah, this looks good. Now I also want a heading here like select city. So because we are creating this drop down for cities, and then so user can search the city by name and then he will get a list of cities. After that he can select one of the city. So that's our goal. Now let's create a drop down after this. So let's add one more div here. I'm adding one more div here. I think it should be out of this. So let's add the drop down div here, and inside it let's create the options. So for options, I'm gonna use button. So button 1, for example, the city is New York, and let's add some styling here. Hover, BG gray. Now let's set the width to full, and I want the text uh, in the left side. Let's add some padding. So adding a padding of PY2. Okay, it looks good now, and it should have some padding in x-axis as well. Okay, I think now it looks good. Let's add some border radius here. So rounded MD. Okay, so you can see now it looks good, and let's duplicate it. So we have a list of cities here, and you can see a list of cities, but as we increase the button, the height of our drop down is also increasing, so we don't want it. So what we can do here, let's add a class name here, and we can make it absolute. Okay, we can make it absolute. Set the background color to white. Left, I want to set the left to 0 and top to 0, and let's make our parent component relative. Okay, setting the parent component to relative. I think this relative should be here in the body, and what we can do, we can move this div inside this body. Okay, it looks good now. So let's increase the top by 40. Let's increase the top by 40 here. Yeah, I think it's too much. Let's decrease it. 24 looks good. Let's decrease a little bit more. 20. Yeah, so 20 looks good. Setting the width to full, and I also want the width full here. Okay, and now let's remove the padding from here, and I want to add it inside the body. Perfect. Also, what we can do, we can also add the padding here, but before that, let's add the padding here as well inside this drop down, doing the same thing here. So I think this space is too much here, so let's decrease the margin. Okay, now let's increase the top little bit. Yeah, and now it's look good. I think I wish we can increase the width as well. Yeah, perfect. So now we have the drop down, and think we need to decrease the height here. First, let's see. This is the header. So let's add BG gray here. So BG gray, and BG gray. I want to set the BG gray to 300 here. So I'm removing the item center from here because like I don't want it to be in center. Yeah. Let's add some padding here. Padding of around 8 pixel. So 8. Okay. Now it looks good. Now let's make it functional. So what we can do here is first I'll just make an array of cities. So const cities, this is gonna be an array of cities. So let's add some cities here. New York. Here you can see I have an array of cities. Okay, now let's render this here. I'm just deleting this, and then let's iterate through our cities. So cities dot map, then city, and here, yeah. So I'm passing the city here. Okay, so you can see we got the list of cities here. we can decrease the top here. So let's make it 18. 18 looks good. And now first let's create a state here. So I'm going to create a state here. Before that, I want to increase the font size here. Now let's create a state here. So const selected city, and then set selected city, then use a state hook. Okay, and now let's create a new function here, const. So what we can do here is like just uh, pass the function here. So I'm passing the function to onChange event. So onChange, and then onChange, what we can do, we can set selected city to city. Okay, we also need to create one more state. So let's go there, and we also need to create one more state to handle the drop down pop-up. We can create a state like is open, set is open, use a state. So let's create one more state for this search box. So const, and we are gonna take the query here, query, then set query, use state. Perfect. Let's set a null value here for now. Okay, and I want to set this is open to false. Now let's create a use effect here, and inside this we are going to write the logic of our input box. So I want to trigger this use effect whenever the query changes. And let's create one more state for filtered cities. So const filtered cities, and set filtered cities, use state. It's gonna be an empty array. And what we can do, we can declare this city out of this component, and let's pass these cities here. So cities, okay, and instead of mapping the cities here, we can map the filtered cities. Perfect. Adding optional chaining here. Then what I want to do here is, so first let's check the length of query. So if the query dot length is greater than 3, then const declaring a new variable filtered here. So cities dot filter city, then city dot includes query dot, and let's make it 2 lowercase. Okay, and then set filtered cities to filtered. So here is a simple logic to filter the cities by the search query, and in the else part I want to set the filtered cities to cities. Now let's set the state here. So I want the value to be query, and then on change set query e dot. So let's first get the e here, and then e dot target dot value. So with the help of this e object, we can get the value of the input box. So let's see it first. Okay, now if I type New York here, it's not working. Why? Let's see what's wrong here. Cities dot filter and city dot includes dot query dot to lowercase. So we also need to make the cities to lowercase. So to lowercase, and now let's search it again. So New York. Okay, so you can see it's working fine. Let's type Chicago here. So Chicago. Yeah. Let's type Dubai here. Dubai. So the search functionality is working fine, but I don't want this drop down to be visible until we click on this input box. So what we can do here is like first, if is open, then only show this drop down. If the length of the query is greater than 3, then show this drop down. So what we can do here is here on click, we can set the is open to true. Now it should also get invisible after clicking out of this input box. So what we can do here is like instead of on click, we can make it on focus, and then we have on blur. We can set the say is open to false. Now let's see it. Okay, so you can see when I focus on this input box, then it's showing the drop down, and on defocus, it's making the drop down invisible. And the search functionality is also working here, but it doesn't look like a drop down. So to make it look like a drop down, what we can do here is first let's give a height to the body. So I'm giving the height of around 32. And the last thing I want to do here is let's set the height of this drop down to fit. Setting the height to fit. Now you can see here. Now let's make the select functionality. We have a state here, selected city. What we can do here is if the selected city is there, so if the selected city is there, then show the selected city. So inside a h1 tag, we can show the selected city, and if this condition fails, then we can show the input box here. So format the document, and let's see what's the error here. So the error is you cannot read the properties of length and in line number 30. So here in line number 30 dot length. So just add optional chaining here. Okay. Selected city. Why it's not showing the selected city? Let's log it here. Selected city, and don't know why it's not showing the selected city here. Set on change. Yeah, so here there is a problem. We need to add on click here. There is something wrong here. Let's console.log this. So console.log city, and let's view it what's coming in the console. Nothing is in the console. So the problem with this blur tag. And if I go here again, yeah, now you can see the city is coming. I have removed the on blur from here, and what we can do here is set this is open to false after selecting the city. So after this, we can add it. So first set the selected city, and then do this. Okay, so this is how it goes. Yeah, now you can see the selected city, but there has to be an option to deselect. So for that, what we can do here is let's wrap it inside a div. I'm wrapping it inside a div, and let's style it a little bit, adding a border of 2. Not here. So I think we did the mistake here. Yeah. So let's wrap this inside a div and adding a border. So I'm adding a border here. Then let's add some padding of around 2. Then let's make it rounded SM. Think it should be LG. Yeah, LG looks good. And let's add a button here. So I'm adding a button here. So this button is gonna deselect the selected city. And let's make it flex item center, setting the gap to 3. And let's style this button. So setting the text to red. And let's increase the font size to XL. Also, let's add justify center. I think we don't need it. Add PY to 1 and PX 2. Okay, now it looks good. Let's add some margin and setting the width to fit. So width to fit. Perfect. Now let's add some hover effect here. So hover, on hover, I want the background to be BG sled 300. Okay, and also the cursor to be pointer. Setting the cursor to pointer. Perfect. Now let's deselect the selected value on click of this button. So on click and then set selected city to null. Yeah. So you can see here, let's remove this city from here that we have just added to log the value. So you can see all these things are working fine. The search functionality and then the select functionality. But there is an issue here. I want this input box to be clear after deselecting the value. So you can see if I searched New York here and selected it, then deselected it, the search value is still here. So to clear it, what we can do, set selected city to null, and also let's add parenthesis because like I do want to add one more function here. So set query to null. Okay, so now you can see it's working as expected. The search functionality, the select functionality, all of the things are working fine. So that's how you can create a search drop-down component in React.js. You can enhance the functionality. You can add multiple selection here. You can make it to be able to select multiple values here. So right now you can see here I am only be able to select a single value here. You can extend the functionality and you can make it to be able to select multiple values here. So if you want the source code of this, then I'll attach a link in the description. You can download it from there. So I hope you found this video helpful. Do like this video, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, then click the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. If you have any question, doubt, then let me know in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding, everyone.